Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Hello and welcome to Mercy TV, COVID episode number, I guess, 45-ish. We've been doing it for a year, about 4 times a month. And here we are. Welcome to Mercy TV, your source for news and information on the cannabis issue with a focus on the medical side as that issue unfolds here in Oregon, across America, and around the world. Greetings. I'm Perry Normal, and along with my co-conspirators and compassionate common sense, Sonny,
hello,
and producer PK, we welcome you to this episode of Mercy TV, live, well, sort of live. If you have any questions, comments, you can call 503-990-2291. Okay, see how often I call it? So, and be nice to our brother Sonny here. He'll do his best to answer your questions or otherwise direct you to a good source for them, resource. Also, stay tuned to Channel 23 or our YouTube channel off our Mercy TV webpage to see more of producer PK's work, particularly My Garden. I was uploading the latest episodes there, and we were watching some of it, some good information on growing and processing your cannabis there.
Please be safe, and if you're smoking, have the other person fire up his own number.
Well, and you know, you want to follow all the guidelines and make sure that, you know, these are the ways that we can stay safe, you know. And we did all of this before this pandemic came.
Yeah,
and
really.
We're doing it now during the pandemic. And all of the patients have issues, and we're trying to have, you know, safe, you know.
Well, a lot of folks who utilize medical cannabis are people with conditions. They have low immune systems. They're and are just plain sensitive to their whole physiology, if you will. So the fact that cannabis is highly effective in treating and helping folks with their symptoms, with their ailments, it's also extremely benign. It doesn't mess with your body's system in really adverse ways. I mean, even in high concentrations and so forth. So, I mean, the main thing is it doesn't kill you. You don't really get addicted to it. And other things that really are reefer madness, you know, so.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of medicines that your doctor is given, and those are for the condition that you have. And that's why when you find out more about the cannabis, you'll see that the cannabis will help strengthen you, and with the medicines the doctor's giving you will help you.
That's why I believe that when folks use their cannabis
responsibly.
Well, in a way that it's like uses the whole plant, like the making of butter that is also available on our Mercy TV YouTube channel. We're using the whole plant, we're getting all the ingredients and everything out of there, and then you're consuming it, so it's all being all part of the process. Whereas, say, like when you're smoking it, you're incinerating it and not really getting all of the plant, as it were, because some of it's getting combusted and.
Well, that's what I mean by responsibly, because when you use the roots and the buds and the you know, all the different pieces of it, our body is the plant, you know. And when you put this plant and this plant and you put them together, they work really good. Mm-hmm. And then you got the doctor giving you medicines, and you put all of this together, it makes us better. And you know, this is what the Mercy Center is trying to do, is make us better. And you know, when you tell us and you're telling the doctor, and we're all, you know, it's education. You know, don't let somebody else tell you what they think. You know, you're the only one that knows. Mm-hmm. And that's what's important. You know, Perry, they know because they're the patient. They're using the cannabis and the strain. Mm-hmm. That's important. The strain. And you can't use it one time. You got to use it, you know, every day.
Multiple times.
Every day, every week, every month. You know, it really needs to be depending on the condition, depending on the strain, because different strains are a little stronger. Mm-hmm. And you'll find out that as you get more into the strains, some strains are a little bit stronger depending on the THC, the strength, and who's growing and what they're growing and how they're growing and with what.
Right, well, and the modality too. If you concentrate it versus simply taking the vegetative state, like making tea out of it, you know, that's getting the whole plant in there. How potent you make it is up to you. You can control the dosage, titration, relatively
Some
easy.
people can't take all of the things because their systems are broke down, you know, so they need a little bit of a sip, you know, and it'll help them with what they're eating.
Another way is vaporizing too, by the way.
So I just pulled the plants in the garden. I got nice root things. I'm going to show the audience putting that into the CBD medicine, because that's where that concentration of that molecule out of the cannabis plant is. Our friend Reed, which makes up a bomb as well, uses the roots, and it's a high CBD. With the original healing oil, every crop I add a little bit of that, so I have the variety of what was in the garden.
Mm-hmm. There you
It
go.
gives you the best of all of it to give your body the best of all of it, because your body will take what it wants, because what you need, your body will take. See, that's what your body does. Your body will take what it needs, because neurologically your body knows what it needs, because our body works with cannabis and it will take neurologically. That's how it works. See, I don't know if you can see that, but I've had a couple brain surgeries, and that's what it does. Neurologically, the brain takes with the medicine, and it will work, and it'll take. And when you find out that the medicine, which is the cannabis, and it takes what it needs, it goes, oh, I need that. And pretty soon you find, oh, well, I want some more of that, because that's what I need. And you go, man, that's working. And then you find out, well, for the pain, for the nausea, for whatever the particular, you know.
Right, you know, and so like in Oregon, we recognize these conditions treatable by the cannabis, the obvious ones of nausea and cachexia, which is the loss of appetite. Then you get nausea, which is not able to keep it down, if you get that far, kind of things. Also the spasticity issues of tremors, things of that nature. Joint and muscle pain, usually resolved by having a cannabis mode of, say, a balm, as PK was describing, or an oil can be applied. See, that's where topical application can work for those that are having those kinds of issues.
Carpal tunnel and other ailments on me, or pains in my body.
And then there's similar to the lines of the joint healing and so forth, is skin conditions.
or the arthritis that people have,
Arthritis,
or
right?
the psoriasis. You know,
Psoriasis, there you go,
different
yeah.
kinds of arthritis that work, but the psoriasis too, which, you know, there's a couple different kinds of psoriasis that they talk about, that they take all kinds of different steroids for those psoriasis. And you know what, when you find out that the cannabis will work for the psoriasis, wow, and you don't have to take those strong steroids no more, wow, because there's so many side effects from those steroids. And the steroids do all kinds of side effects with those other drugs that a lot of people take, and not good.
Right.
Not good. They are not good. They do really bad things, and you'll find out that with all the other things, not good. So when you can take cannabis and they work really good, you go, wow, that's a good thing. And they really find out really good for your psoriasis and the arthritis. Wow. And you get energy, and your energy level goes up, and you can start feeling all of these things, and you talk with doctor, because doctor wants to know how come. He thinks sometimes his stuff, so he lowers. You talk. You know, these are the communications we want to be able to show how good cannabis is. We want strains, because strains will make better. What are you doing? You know, the patient is the one that knows. Well, because one of the patients that I was talking to yesterday was telling me the strain he was doing was pushing 30%.
Nice.
That is very good. Very good. And with 30%, his stuff was going way down.
Now that's just in the THC.
Yes.
We don't know anything about the CBD, CBN,
No,
CBG.
and he was asking me, you know, well, and I'm not really sure, but he goes, I've been doing a lot of sleeping. And I said, well, your body probably needs a lot.
That's what we get a lot of reports on,
and,
you know.
And you know, if you're smoking, and he goes, well, I haven't been doing a lot of smoking, but it's making me sleep. And I said, wait for a little bit, because that might be what your body is telling you it needs. See, these are the things, the cannabis will help you. And he goes, well, and we talked about depression and all. I said, don't think like that. Somebody else might be telling you that, because they're not so much on cannabis, so they're going to be pushing you, telling you, oh, well, cannabis ain't no good, see, you're sleeping all the time, so it's depressing you. No. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because cannabis is not a depressive.
Right, you know.
It's not a depressive.
That's more reefer madness nonsense.
See,
there, yeah.
that is not right. See, don't let somebody tell you that cannabis is a depressive, because cannabis will give you energy. If you need to sleep, cannabis will go neurologically and tell your body you need to lay down and you need to rest, because that's your body telling itself, I need to rest. Whether it's in your arms and shoulders and legs and feet, you need to rest, so that your body will tell itself to lay down. Listen to your body. You know, these are the things that you find out about the cannabis. You don't listen to others tell you about what the cannabis is going to do. The cannabis will tell you. You know, these are the reasons why the Mercy Center has these safety meetings that we have, because we can educate like we're doing right here in this TV show. And when you get with others, you can have your own little safety meeting and tell them, hey, we're going to meet and we're going to have a safety meeting right here and talk.
Right.
Well,
And
because-
each of you.
Well, make sure everybody has their own medical cannabis delivery device. Don't pass the pipe around or the
Well,
bong around
no,
and
we
stuff,
want,
so.
you know, we want safety. You know,
And keep distance as much as possible.
yes.
Sanitize
Safety.
everything involved.
Make sure you got your mask, you know.
For
you
close
see,
in
everybody's
and
got
stuff,
their mask. And, you know, these are the things we have been teaching all along, even before this pandemic. You know, and you guys, that's what we're teaching for you, because we want everybody, all the patients and everybody that's to learn that education is good, that cannabis is good, and see what it can do for you. Your conditions will get better, you know,
Right.
and you will get better, and your doctors, they will say, man, you know, they can lower the drugs or change your drugs. Maybe you'll feel that your drugs that are changing are better. If they're not, they'll change to others that are, You know, that's why it's good to have that good relationship with your doctor. And that's what we talk about all the time, is you will find out that when you open up more with your doctor, you have better relationships with your doctor, Perry.
Right.
And that's what I have found out with so many people, that the better you open up about your cannabis, you have better relationships with your doctor. And that was one of the things that I was thinking about today. When you talk with your doctor, you have better relationships, and you know, it makes it such a better time, and you have the relationship, your
Well, you should have a relationship where you can talk about anything. Really, you shouldn't have to be concerned that your doctor's going to treat you differently in that case. So if that is the case, you might need another doctor, because that's a
all
sign
along
of,
though, people that use cannabis felt like they couldn't talk to their doctor.
Well,
they felt
that's-
that they would be
that
treated,
was back to
but
Reefer
today-
Madness.
Today we're in the point that, hey, I can talk to my doctor about
You know,
it.
we talk about today, we've got a big divide in this nation, and that's because people have for decades been propagandized, been, quote, educated to that the other side is not just wrong, but they're evil and they're out to get you, and so forth. And so here we are in this situation. By the same token, that same machinery was used to project that cannabis was bad, it's evil, and it's so bad and evil we can't even discuss not doing the things, you know, all these to try and prevent it, you know. And so it's tough for people to get over that hump, if you will, because they've been propagandized for so long that it's so bad it's taboo to talk about. Even,
But now
you know.
when the patient finds out, oh, my condition, and it
But
don't
when they,
matter, because
by whatever circumstance, end up trying it, and they see it works,
and
and
that's
they're
the
like,
thing.
okay, well, you know, you're saying this stuff, but that's not what I'm experiencing. Okay,
Please give
So-
us an email. Give Perry an email. Give me a call, and we will help you get better, get another doctor, whatever we have to do, because that's what the Mercy Center does. I am the patient director. Perry's the president, because that's what we do. You know, that's
Here.
why we're here.
Excuse me.
We didn't just
so
start.
exciting to be here.
Well, we didn't just start this program.
No, we've been doing
today.
it a while, yeah.
I
So
mean, we started
through our website, we help people get with the program is our primary thing. Help them with the issues involved. Number one, getting your card. Number one in there is educating your doctor. You know, and then you got to find medicine now. Well, what about medicine in the long term? You're going to get growing. You get a grower. You need to find a grower. You need to get plants or seeds to start with, you know, so you got to network with people. And then there's the law, you know, and you're maybe in a place where they don't have the law yet, so you got to get the law, or in a place where you need the law to be changed, like here in Oregon. You know, our law has gotten so bad that we're
Ridiculous.
considering a whole new law. You know, how can we change all these things here? It's tough, you know. Maybe we need to go to the people again and get a reaffirmation.
Voting.
Which is sad, because one time Oregon had the best program in the world, if not the nation. And now here we have 4 more states changing their laws for the better, and Oregon seems to be regressing in the aspect of the medical cannabis. Recognize that cannabis is medicine. It's safe, effective medicine. And everyone who benefits from it should have access to it, young and old alike, you know.
Well, and the most important thing is to keep talking to your doctors and letting them know, because the doctors have just the power too, because they are not only giving you the cannabis, they're giving all these other drugs to people, that because the other drugs do help, because they're helping along with the other. I mean, there's a balance they got going on. I mean, I've got a balance. I mean, I got all these other drugs.
Right, and you know, this is maybe a good time to talk about
the seizures and everything.
Right. Well, folks who feel better taking cannabis, stop taking their seizure medicine. Thinking
Man,
they're cured.
I'm having
and
seizures. I just had a seizure the other day.
Not a good thing.
Man, I'm still doing cannabis. I'm having seizures. And I've been doing this a long time, and I'm doing my seizures, and the doctor's giving me, all the drugs he can give me, and I mean, they've done a couple brain surgeries. I mean, I'm working with everybody, doing the best, trying to do the best. Everybody's working, and I'm here. These guys that are here, we're doing our best, but it's great. I went down from a whole bunch of drugs down to just a few. So I am thankful. Believe me, I mean, from all of these, a whole handful of drugs down to just a few.
Right.
So I'm thankful.
And there's so many cases like that. It's amazing that the insurance companies who are paying for these medicines don't realize the savings. I mean, because you went from like $1,000 worth of medicine a day
At least.
down to $100.
Well, and I was seeing like 6 or 7 or 8 doctors.
Right.
And all these doctors that I seen in 1 month, I was seeing 6, 7, 8 doctors. And it was ridiculous. And now I only got a couple doctors.
See, because that breaks that cycle. You do this, you need pills for that, and then there's symptoms and side effects. You got to take pills for that, And so cannabis just breaks that whole vicious cycle and everything. And so that's why we're here talking about it.
And I'm trying to tell you,
Right.
and these guys are helping, and everybody should be talking with their friends and family and keeping and making sure that they know that the cannabis is where we win. Because it's so good, because there's so many things, it helps. I mean, I was talking to Cuz this week, and he was telling me about his sugar diabetes was doing so good. He was just with his sugar diabetes doctor. It was doing so good, So many other things are doing so good.
Well, and that's, another thing. Reefer Madness says that it's bad for your blood sugar, it's bad for your blood pressure, it's bad for you, period. And
nope. His sugar diabetes was good.
That's not the case,
doing. His other things were doing good.
Was he losing weight?
I didn't ask him about that. I asked him about the injury that he had on his leg.
Okay.
And the injury was healing and doing good. And see, I didn't get into the whole conversation about that, but with the leg healing, see, the leg heals because of the blood, and all of it is a downhill thing, because when you heal from the blood and the liver and kidneys and all the things that are
Internal organs.
It's all the organs that, and the cannabis that feeds it, that feeds the blood, and it's just really good.
affects it, I guess,
And people, when we find out how our system works, and that cannabis is, whether we're eating it and smoking it, and that's why Pete is talking about all the oils all the time, because the oils feed it, and we win.
This is edibles, what
Right.
you're talking about.
So, that's
you don't
pretty...
have to smoke it to get the benefits of using cannabis as a healing oil. You wouldn't hear the side effects like you would hear over these commercials at the end.
Right. Pick anything, any one of those drugs out there on the TV. At the end of the commercial, they run through this whole big list of things that it causes. And it's funny, sad how we keep, whenever we talk about legalizing cannabis, they say we can't let it happen because it might cause these things. And yet here's something that definitely causes these things, and it's okay if you just say it real fast at the end of the commercial, So it's a double standard there, and that's what folks have to deal with. I mean, they say cannabis causes cancer, when in fact, cannabis is a big part of people beating cancer,
Oh, and that's another thing. There's a lot of benefits from cannabis for cancer, and people don't even want to talk about
From
that.
From the whole gamut, the pain, the nausea, the inability to sleep.
And we want to talk about quality of life.
So,
And today's quality of life, because of all the different pains and issues that are going on with people with patients with issues. And today it's a lot. And people are taking a lot of pills, and they're not good for our system. And when you start doing that, people, and we know that we can use cannabis, and you can eat a cookie or a gummy,
and I think this is a good time to point out that during the opioid crisis, cannabis was a big part of helping people get off their dependency on opioids, helping people provide an alternative to the opioid so they didn't overdose on the opioid and die. And it was an uphill fight to get that truth out there because the opioid industry was big on lying. You know, both sides. They lied about their shit and they lied about cannabis there. One big whole onion of lies. And so, you know, we've got to learn from that and go forward with cannabis as a viable part of the toolkit for dealing with pain and addiction.
Well, and it's like the cannabis is so good. Do you know we got college kids out there that are doing sports that got all kinds of drugs that they're taking that aren't so good for their bodies, but those doctors are using them?
Yeah, right.
Pardon me,
See?
my friend.
Also for autism, for all these conditions that children are going through, ADHD, you know, ADD, all of that. So,
And we got so many blessings that we've been doing this show for so long.
and one of those blessings is CCTV. Thanks so much for them and their help in us doing this for, gosh, decades now.
Literally.
Producer PK.
Thank you. Hey, be safe. Use a separate instrument when you're enjoying smoke, or the room will give
Respect the COVID. I mean, as soon as we've, and you know, we may find that cannabis is a part of beating COVID, you know, helping people with their, now they have asthma, now they have lung conditions. Cannabis used to be treated for asthma, you know. Let's stop the war and find out what it is about it that helps those people, you know. Hey, Sonny.
You know, do what you can to listen to what all the guidelines that they're finding out. It's because they're putting out these guidelines that people are staying safe and the things are going down. That's what's important. Our doctors.
Well, science is starting to rule on this, and we should let the same happen with cannabis.
Yeah.
Very important.
So.
Thank you for Dr. Lebec, Nurse Ed, Shauna,
All
Mike.
these people that they're talking about have passed away, and they were with us for all these years.
Grandma Janet, and all the other people.
We're very
Please.
thankful.
Thanks
Vote.
to them all for getting us this far, and thanks to you for visiting. We hope that you find something useful here, and we'll spread the word, and even contact us and let us know how we're doing there.
Henry Turner wrote the opening song, Modern Medication.
Shoot him a kite. He's down there in Louisiana.
Visit htjr.com.
Thank
And thanks
you
for
your-
visiting. We'll see you next time on Mercy TV.
Be safe.
Bye now.
Peace and victory.
Yes.
Roll, register, vote, and get everyone you know to do so also.
Yes. Very. Be safe.
That's how we get change on this and all the issues.
You want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.